smoke whiskey.
Well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to with anything?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Chris Corso. Sitting over there is Mark Catone. Mark, it feels like we've been off for about 2.5 months.
Yeah,
over here.
It's been crazy, right? Crazy.
It does. Well, we are presented by the Pats Nation, the only Patriots post-game show worth watching. Join Mark and I 30 minutes following every Patriots game. And listen, you can see us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. Type in Corso and Catone, and all of our shows will pop up. And if you want to listen to us, go ahead and do that on iTunes, the iHeart Radio app, and live on Podbean. Again, type in Corso and Catone. Every one of our shows will pop up for your viewing and listening pleasure, Mark, right? And how about Twitter, Mark? What do you say? At Corso_Catone, right?
You don't even know what Twitter is.
Well, listen, whether I know it or not, I know our handle, and it's at Corso_Catone. But the heated hotline, listen, we want you to call in 855-313-PATS. Call 24/7. Leave us a message. Joe's going to go through them all and pick the one he likes the best for Mark and I to talk about. And that one could be yours. So 855-313-7287. Mark, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good, Chris. It was wonderful. Yeah. Same. Yeah, I wanted to go in a cave and hide for like 4 days. Go.
Why am I not surprised? Joe, and you?
Still feeling the effects, but we had a good time. Yes, we did. Happy Thanksgiving to our listeners and viewers out there.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, a safe holiday. And everybody says that. We always eat too much, right? So, but welcome back. And we got a big show today. Obviously, heated hotline. We're going to get to that. And we have our new segment to talk about, our weekly rewind. And Mark and I are going to go through the big stories of the week and talk about those. And, of course, Catone's comments. You're really not going to want to miss that today. Trust me on that one. And also, we're going to preview that Patriots-Titans game tomorrow. They kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern in Foxborough. Mark is going to be at that game. And so we'll be hearing from him after that game, hotfully.
Yep.
Got a lot to get through. So, Joe, we ready for Heated Hotline?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Heated Hotline.
Yeah, this is Jim from Methuen. I watched that Tom Brady piece, Man in Arena, or something like that. It's no new information. It just isn't information. We already know what happened, and all they keep doing is regurgitating the same thing. It looks like one of those shows on NFL Network that gives the history of everything that happened. I'm sick and tired of Brady trying to make money from the Patriots. Why doesn't he just say everything was great there instead of trying to get us to buy all his crap? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, Joe, was it Jim? Is that what his name?
No idea. I love the
Jim or Steve?
Jim. No, I think it was Jim.
Was it Jim?
I heard Methuen.
I heard Methuen too.
I did hear Methuen.
I love that. Listen, I think he ate too much turkey and had a few too many after Thanksgiving.
Hey, you know what?
Microphone, it sounded like.
I love it. He's 100% right, Chris.
Yeah, again, did you watch it, Mark?
I did watch. I didn't watch the latest episode, but I did watch the first one. I think this is episode 3. I think I watched the first one and got excerpts from the second one.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw the first 2. I didn't see it 3 yet. I don't know if
it didn't come out yet. I think it's coming out this weekend, Chris.
I watched the first 2, and I think he's right. I mean, look, Brady's always that's what his thing. He's all about at this point now. Like the floodgates are open, right? He went down there, he couldn't do the stuff am I right,
Well,
Mark?
Chris, he couldn't market himself up here the way he wanted to because, of course, it's not a lot technically. Belichick doesn't allow all that stuff. Down there, it's freelance. He can do whatever he wants. He's marketing himself, commercialing, whatever he wants, talking about anything he wants to. Because the buffoon down there, Arians, he don't care what's going on. He don't even know where he is half the time. Arians, right?
No, he just reserves the right. He just reserves the right to say we're a dumb football team.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
well, who's that on?
You're a dumb coach. You're a dumb coach. Why don't you stand up there and say I'm a dumb coach? How's that?
Darth Vader. Listen, if you're a dumb football team, who's that on, Mark?
That's
I mean, we torture Belichick every week about that. About
Arians is a buffoon.
Penalties, turnovers, mistakes, and even his boy now is throwing picks, right?
Yeah, but listen, getting back to his comment though, the caller's comment. I will say this, Chris. The one thing I take from all these foolish shows, right? Whether it's this thing, Man in the Arena, whether it was, the other thing he had on, what did he have? Something on, remember it was Facebook or something, I don't know what the hell he had on, right? And all the shows, whatever he's on, the NFL Network, the caller's right, whatever he's on, it's the same theme though, Chris, to me. It's, listen, he learned a whole hell of a lot from the Patriots, specifically Belichick, and how you prepare for a game, how you prepare to understand film, defense, everything. That transformed over 20 years. He takes it to Tampa. Yes, he absolutely won a Super Bowl last year. Hey, good. Kudos to him. But, Chris, he's texting guys at midnight before the game. Listen, remember this. Because that's how he was taught and he was trained, Chris. You don't think he was getting those texts from Belichick at 11 o'clock the night before the Super Bowl? Hey, Tom, remember this. Remember this. Right? So that's how he was trained. So, listen, they can say whatever they want. Like the flagship about, last year, it was Brady. Listen, it wasn't Brady. It was a combination of the two of them. And this, again, just solidifies the fact, Chris, of how much he learned from Belichick, and they fed off each other. But he wouldn't be where he is if it wasn't for what he learned here.
Well,
Chris.
He says it in the show, Mark.
Yes.
He says it in the show. In the show, and and I was going to save it for Weekly Rewind, but let's go at it. I mean, I watched that thing, and he comes right out and says, so he's talking about other rookies, guys that would come in, how they would handle it, right? And he says, but you got to have the leadership. You got to have somebody showing you the way, something like that.
Yeah.
And he said, I had Coach Belichick. So I was able to learn. That's what he said. Learn how to play football. Learn how the game should be played.
Yeah.
And he flat out says it. I had Belichick. Now, listen, Mark, that's no different than what he's been saying. It's not like he's been sitting there saying,
no, it's the foolish media over here, right. Chris, wants to make it a story. That, they hated
you know
each
what?
other.
But, Mark, before they admit that they're wrong, they'll say that this is not genuine. Every time Brady says something that's pro-Belichick, they say, well, that's not real. That's not genuine. Right. What he really feels is this. And he says it in the piece. Brady flat out says, hey, nobody knows what's going on in the background. Nobody knows what we're thinking and what we're saying. People think they do.
Chris, listen, I think that the relationship towards the very end, yes, it got fractured. And it got fractured just because Tom felt as though he was disrespected at the end because Belichick wouldn't give him that 3 or 4 year contract, right? And if Belichick did that, Chris, he would have been here until the end of his career, and that would have been the end of it. He really didn't want to go anywhere. And I think he enjoyed his time here. And I think up until he was disrespected at the end, and you said this, Chris, if they gave him the contract, he wasn't going anywhere. He got disrespected at the end. That doesn't mean he doesn't have, respect, fond memories. And when this is all over, Chris, 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, and they get a chance to go sit down together alone in a room, him and Belichick, they're going to say to each other, listen, what did you imagine everything we did? Yeah. And he's going to walk away and say, there was nobody better than what we did there. He'll say it. I mean, he's not going to say it now. He's playing for another team, Chris.
Yeah. And to Jim's point about continuing the same thing, same thing. Yeah, he wants to make money. I'm fine with that, but he's right. It's nothing new. I mean, when I watch those two shows, it's the same stuff we've been hearing on the 30 for 30, on the Football Life, all of those things. Because how many ways can you say it? You get Harrison on there. You get Lawyer Malloy on there. I'm sure Brewski will make the scene at some point, and some of these guys. And it's always the same. You've been hearing the same thing for 20 years. You know, this is the culture. This is what we had. This is the reason why. Okay. And this is what Tom was like. The problem is,
Chris,
Mark, he's
yep.
making these programs too soon. Wait till you're done with
he
football.
should have did these after the fact. If you know what I mean, after the fact, he should have made a couple of these documentaries, and that would have been the end of it, right? But Chris, even last week after the game against the Giants, the comment he made about I had a coach tell me that it's not, something like it's not when you play them or who you're playing, it's how you play them. Like he used a quote that Belichick uses even in his press conference last week. He used a quote. He said a former coach of mine always said that was a Belichick line.
Well, the only thing I'll say about the new piece is that what you get, you get swearing now. You get to hear that.
Yeah, you get
and
that.
two,
yeah.
he's more acknowledging with detail, talking about Tuesdays we used to meet, in Belichick's office, which is hilarious. That office, by the way, you would think he'd have like this real nice. He's got this little room. Anyway, talking to Belichick, I was able to do that. So you get some new stuff, Jim, but I get what you're saying. It's pretty much the same stuff over and over and over again that you've been
absolutely.
hearing. And that's what it's going to be, because you can't change the fact that it was Belichick's culture that he brought to the table. So that's Heated Hotline, and that's
Chris,
presented
not for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to jump ahead and jinx anything, but Jesus,
don't friggin' do it.
I'm not going to say it, but Chris,
I hate when he does this
Chris,
show.
He's building something here with this kid, number 10. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves.
That's it. You already did it. You've already done it. Shut it down. Shut it all down. It's all over.
It's over.
That's it. Heated Hotline was presented by Jag Media Productions. And so, Mark, here we are, Weekly Rewind. We want to get into Weekly Rewind. Okay, well, want to go through all the stuff last week. And for us, it's probably 2 weeks now. And maybe talk a little bit about Thanksgiving, too, some of the big stories that happened.
Yeah,
you ready
Chris,
for that?
And I think, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Going back through the week, about a weekly rewind. That's Joe. I like that. I really, really like that.
I don't
know where you got me saying rewind. That's pretty cool, right there.
Yeah,
that was last week. I was like, I think he said rewind.
That's good. That's good.
I don't
stuff,
remember
Joe.
last week.
I don't remember anything. Well, good. That's good stuff.
I ate so much on Thanksgiving, I don't even remember my own name.
But Chris, the Weekly Rewind. I mean, I think that what we were just talking about fits right into that Weekly Rewind, though, because listen, that's been all over the media over here. This man in the middle arena, right? And especially because he made that comment at the end of that game, the next day, I think, about how what a coach used to tell him. So,
are they going to chronicle? Because it looks like they've been doing it by Super Bowl. So like they did 0-1, then they jumped. But they did talk about 0-2. They talked about the fact of why it was bad and what he had to learn from it and so on. Yeah. And then they get to 0-3, which was episode 2. So are they just going to go through every one of his years?
I don't know if they do that, Chris. It's they can't. The show will go on forever.
Holy Christ.
Right? Jesus.
It'll be forever. I would assume they'll go into 0-4 now, and then they'll probably jump to 0-7.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the one I want to see.
Listen, I don't know how much they'll focus on 07, Chris, because that's a sour spot with him. He doesn't like to talk about 07. He says he's never watched a film of the game. So
screw him. I'm not. It's a soft spot for me.
Wait a minute. Soft spot for you. You're the reason why we lost the goddamn game.
That's nonsense. You've been saying that crap for 15 years now, 13 years, whatever it is.
That loss is on. Forget the Giants. Forget David Tyree. That loss is on you.
Go ahead. Tell everybody again. They don't remember.
That loss is on you.
Tell everybody why, though.
Because we've had.
I do blame myself.
We've had the same routine, him and I, down to a T before kickoff for 25 years. All of a sudden.
Has it been that long?
Maybe longer, probably.
Oh,
longer. All of a sudden, it's going down to a perfect season. And this jerk says to me, I'm going to go to the game to witness history. I said, no. I said, you're not going to the game. I said, you're going to stay right where you are. You're going to call me at this time. Then we don't
Super Bowl in my backyard.
We don't talk to each other until after kickoff starts. I don't even talk to him if the other team gets the ball first. The Patriots got to get the ball, and then I call him or text him. That's how it works. He's going to go to the goddamn game. I said, do not go to the game, Chris. What do you care? It's a Super Bowl. Who cares? You're gonna watch them make history. What's the difference? Stay. Nope. Had to go to the game. He went with his brother. Yep. They went. They went. Yep. What happened? Lost.
You know,
And on top of it, he almost got into 3 fist fights with Giants fans. Yeah.
Joe, this is not a very festive and happy, nice thing. We're
Listen,
getting on.
This
a
is
month today.
this
You
is what
had
you
to
call
bring
the
up
real
07.
deal of what happens after Thanksgiving anyway.
You know what?
You had to bring up 07.
Yes. I've blamed myself. How many years has it been?
You want to talk about rewind, Joe? We're rewinding over 20 years.
For 14 years, I have. I've blamed myself. I'm miserable because of this. I'm absolutely miserable because of 2000. I had a place ready. See all the crap I got behind me? I had a place ready for that, which is probably another reason why. So anyway, man in the arena, Mark. So do you think, because I brought up 07, do you feel like to Jim's point,
they'll touch on it.
are they going
to
to tell us anything new?
No.
Are they going to tell us some of the things? Because I'm interested to know how they took that loss, because they've never talked about it. They've never talked about it, Mark.
No, but it's interesting, Chris. He's never talked about it. I don't know if he'll get into that. I think he'll just say that's. He basically said it a couple of years back. He said, "I'd give up two rings for that one."
So we'll see what happens.
That's how he feels, Chris. He said, "I'll give up 2 rings for that one to go undefeated." So
I don't blame him.
So we know how he feels.
I'll give up 2 rings for that too.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
So Mark, go ahead. Talk about. I want to talk about Henry. I want to talk about Henry buying the Penguins. And do you feel like John Henry and his Fenway group purchased the Pittsburgh Penguins? Yep. Okay, now they obviously they have a presence in Boston with the Boston Red. They don't own the Bruins, but they have a presence with the fans and so on. And the fans are pissed off, Mark. What do you think? Should they be?
Well, probably, Chris. But listen, they're going to understand. We've talked about this for how long, Chris? Whether it's the athletes, now the owner, there's no more loyalty. This is a business. It's all about money, marketing. How can I make more money? Whether it's players, owners, that's just what the era we live in now, Chris. And he's no different than anybody else. Hey, he sees an opportunity. He's looking at it as an investment. Maybe he can make some money off this. He ain't doing it because he wants to be a hockey fan or hockey owner. He's doing it because he's seeing it as a business investment, I'm sure, Chris, where he can make money. Just like he bought that, didn't he buy that European soccer team or something?
Yeah, Liverpool or something like that.
One of those teams, and he bought a big one. That's one of the bigger ones out there, and he bought into that. So I'm sure he's looking at it as an investment. But won't it be funny down the road? They knock out the Bruins and they win the Stanley Cup.
Oh,
right?
That guy, he can't show his face in Boston. But yeah, Mark. I mean, look, you don't get to make what is he millions, billions, whatever he's worth. You don't do that by passing on those kinds of opportunities, right? No. And Lemieux has been wanting to get rid of that team for a long time now over there. So I don't know. I'm not as pissed off. The people are pissed. Well, New England fans, they're going to get, and I go, that's why we love New England fans, because we like them. We're the real deal. Only this time.
Yeah, I'm not as pissed. I'm not so pissed off about him buying that, Chris. I'll be honest.
What are you more pissed off about, though, from the last week? They just keep going in the toilet, don't they, over and over.
The Celtics. Last night, Chris.
See, everyone, this is 25 years. This is 25, 30 years of talking this stuff where I don't even have to. We're not prepped for this. We don't even know
Chris,
what we're talking about.
Last night, did you watch any of that game last night?
No, I can't watch them anymore. No, you know what? I didn't see the game last night. Did not.
Chris,
Is it the same?
It's just
nonsense?
the same. Down 15, 20. They make a comeback. They lose by 14, 15. Chris, they're just a bad team. They're not a good team. They're not. Listen, you even get players now from around the league, Chris. Former players, not players. Yeah. Former players, all-star players saying Tatum's not ready. Tatum isn't going to win. Tatum is not the guy right now. He's not ready to win a championship. They're saying it. It's not Tatum's not the guy. He's not there yet. And well, Chris, how many years in is he? You say this every week when we talk about the Celtics. I mean, is he ever going to be ready? He's just a Carmelo Anthony. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it in his press conferences. You can hear it in just see it how, just see it how he is in the games too. Mark, when that team,
Yeah.
because they won 8 out of 11, and then they went and played good team. And what was
And
it,
they
the
got
Nets?
beat.
And they got beat. They got their
They
ass
got
kicked.
destroyed.
They got their ass kicked again and again. And you notice though, when they're playing those games where they're winning, they're moving the ball. There's pick and rolls. You know, you get Schroeder on the court with Williams.
Chris, you know what's
Nice
going to happen to them?
combination.
They might be a 7 or 8 seed, right? They're going to play a 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs, first round, and they're going to get knocked out.
Do you find it coincidental that they started, or just because of who they're playing, which one, that Jaylen Brown came back and it kind of went the other way? With
Chris,
those two guys,
Chris-
because we said it, those two guys, can they play together?
Chris, something has to be done with this team, with that lineup, specifically with those two guys. You're going to, and we've been talking about this, Chris, and talking about it, but you're going to have to bust them up. Something's going to happen. One of them's going to have to get moved, and you're going to have to bring in a different, whether it's a Beal, a different type of a star, and then maybe you bring in the third guy. And with the new chemistry and makeup, maybe you can try to win a championship. You ain't winning the championship with Brown and Tatum on the same team. I'm telling you, I will be shocked.
Nope. And
I will be absolutely shocked, Chris, if you win a championship with those two guys in the same team. Shocked.
And I think they're gonna. You heard it here first. I think they're gonna get rid of the wrong guy. I think they're gonna get rid of the wrong guy, Mark.
Oh, I agree with you, because I know who you think they should get rid of, and they're not going to.
They should.
I
mean,
agree
Tatum,
with you.
if he's never going to be a leader and he's not ready and he's 5 years in, what are you going to wait till 8?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, how long are you going to give this guy? So, you know, to me, it's a business is a business. I'm not locked in. The only guy I locked into is Bird. He's gone. So let's move on. So the only other thing, you know, one thing I quickly wanted to talk about is some of the fun things that I heard this week. Matt Judon for the Patriots. No mac and cheese. He says that just doesn't, mac and cheese doesn't belong on the table ever, but especially with Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Now, I never had that growing up. That was never a tradition in my house, mac and cheese.
I think, Chris, I think that's more of a Southern thing. Like they have like the like different types of food, like the biscuits and the collard greens and things like that. I think that's a Southern
when you go
thing.
to Cracker Barrel, places like that.
Yeah,
those are
they
places,
have the mac and cheese. And if you go down, Chris, to like, if you go down, like when my son was traveling for baseball, you go down, we were in South Carolina for a week. We've been in North Carolina, and you go to the restaurants and they have that on the menu. They have mac and cheese. They have different things on the menu because as a side, because I think it's just something that they eat that down there. It's a little different, I think, in regards to some of the foods that they prepare daily. So you see that more there than here.
It's pretty funny. You know what, too? I see something like that. It shows me how galvanized this team is becoming. I like it. It's like it used to be. Joe, what's your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving?
Oh, for Thanksgiving? That's a tough call.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. What the hell are we talking about right now? Pay attention, Joe.
Well, you got me used. You had me thinking about mac and cheese. I was thinking just to have this.
Maybe Judon just gets the Kraft one and in the box, which is the best. I love that one. If I'm going to eat it, that's the best one.
But anyway, used to make
what's yours, Joe?
Mac and cheese. It was
Come on. What is it?
My mother makes these candied yams that are fantastic. Just fall on the floor, sort of sticky, kind of like that. They're not like the ones that some make as a souffle with like marshmallows.
What the hell is he talking about? The souffle.
Never had that? You've never had
Joe. Listen, Joe. Maybe, Joe, you know what, Joe? You need to watch the Food Network because it's not a souffle. It's called a sweet potato pie with the marshmallows, and it's called sweet potato pie souffle. What the hell is he talking about?
What the hell is he? What is he watching all day long? What is he? What are you watching on? All right, Mark, what's yours?
My favorite side, Chris, is, believe it or not, is, which I can't really eat it anymore.
You can't say meatballs because that's not.
No, I really can't eat it anymore because of my diabetes. But I love my wife's and actually stuffing.
Good. You know. It with all respect to your what you have, I've seen you eat. I've seen you eat a half a pizza.
How many years ago was that, Chris?
You keep saying all that. I keep seeing you eating and drinking all these things you shouldn't eat.
How many years ago was that pizza?
It's the stuffing.
Years ago,
well, Mark, do you call it stuffing or dressing?
I call it stuffing. They call it dress. They called it dressing this week in the press
Well,
conference,
because
the Patriot press conference.
You know the difference, right? The stuffing is what comes out of the turkey's ass. They stuff it in there and then they take it
So
out
you're
and eat
saying
it. The
this
dressing
dressing
is just
is
prepared.
It's prepared. Okay, so I like the dressing. I don't like the stuffing that comes out of the turkey's ass.
Right. Okay.
All right. But listen, I'm glad you clarified that, Chris, because I didn't know what the difference was. But
Well,
listen,
I mean, you watch the Food Network. You should know
listen,
this.
just for the record,
Yeah.
for anyone who's local, back in the day, Corso Pizza, we'll give them a little shout out on Federal Hill.
They got
They
beat
used to
down
have
on the
they
internet
used to have
this week.
a large
Really?
pizza. When you
Yeah.
got a large pizza from there,
It was
in the
two,
old days, they used to give you 2 boxes of pizza. It wasn't just it was 2 boxes of pizza. It was ridiculous the amount of pizza you got when you ordered a large. So one night we went out. I don't know where we were. We were at a casino, this, that. I don't know. We come back to my place.
Yeah,
My
what
wife
time
said-
though was it? Tell them that.
I don't know. It
Like
was
2, 3 in the
1, 2,
morning?
3. I don't know what time it was. So him and I are sitting there bullshit, and we got the TV on, this, that, but next thing you know, it's 4:00 in the morning. Both boxes are empty. Gone. I said, oh my God, what did we just do? You want to talk about want to go kill yourself after?
You're putting in
Oh.
saline or whatever what do you call that? For me it's dressing too. My great aunt made it.
Oh,
And she has like sausage in it, and it's like there's sausage in it. There's green peppers and onions diced up. Rubber. It's so good. And
now,
the
do
traditions.
you make it? Did you
It's
make it?
it's been carried on now, and I had it the other day, and I still have it. Some left over, and I took it. You never go to somebody's house, take a dish, and then take it back. That's pretty. But I went to my sister's, and she said, "Bring it because
You took it
so I
back.
brought it. I took it back. That's it.
Of course
'Cause I'm
you
gonna eat
did.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I know we went long, Joe, but we'll take it out of the other segment.
Chris,
So,
just
yeah,
one
listen.
thing before we
Yeah.
move on, the weekly rewind. Did you see JC Jackson said, I love playing here and I'd love to stay here?
Yeah. Oh, you only get that was like a blip
Yeah, that was a blip. That was a
because
blip.
they don't want to promote that.
Yeah, I had to put that out there, though.
They
Chris.
better pay that man. Pay that man.
Pay him.
Weekly Rewind was presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. SpecialSaucePodcast.com. When we come back, a special Catone's comments. That's next.
Okay, so this is typically my segment. I'm just going to clarify this. My segment for me, not for anybody else. However, today I have a special request. And Joe, I'm afraid.
This is not your request.
Oh,
You
excuse me. This is my time. It says Catone's comments. You be quiet, Mr. Corso, until I'm ready.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm afraid at what is going to come out of his mouth that he wants to take over my segment, but I'm going to allow it once. Mr. Corso, go ahead.
And it's so good that we're going to take away from a little bit of Patriots preview of the
All right,
Titans
let's
game.
go.
That's how good this is. So, Joe, you know this as well. Some of the Catone's comments have been, probably most of them, have been based around driving. Do we agree with that? Mark, you agree with that?
Well, some of them, yeah, some of them.
And in last Catone's comments, you had mentioned that you want to start a driving school or program.
I
or
want to
something
send a
like-
video to the DMVs around the country.
Right, because you know their driving rules.
Yes, of
You
course
do.
I do.
What I have with me right now is and this is a Rhode Island permit practice exam. And so what I want to do today is there's 30 questions. We're not going to get to 30 questions. Joe and I want to see how well you do on this test. Are you game for that, Mark?
Who says that that's correct? That's why I made my own video.
This is on the DM. Don't start backpedaling before you take the test. Maybe you'll do really well.
Excuse me. Did I not say I personally am going to make a video and send it to all the DMVs, Joe? Which means I don't care what's on that foolish paper. But go ahead. I'll entertain your nonsense.
This is what the kids take when they're going to get their permit in your wonderful state of yours.
That's why they're driving the way they're driving. But I'll entertain your nonsense.
Joe, he's already hedging the bet, don't you think?
Go ahead.
Riled up. He's riled up.
All right, Joe, you keep track of the right and wrong answers. One.
Wait. You're assuming that I know the right.
No. I just want you to keep track when I tell you.
I have no idea.
If I tell you when he's right or wrong, because I have the answers. A solid yellow line, Mark, on the side, on your side of the center line means 1, do not pass, 2, reduce speed, or 3, traffic light ahead.
Do not pass.
Okay, that one's right. One right.
All right. Well, he's got these
And any of the ones that have a sign we can't do because you can't see it. So, okay, drivers who eat and drink while driving, A, are better drivers because they are not hungry. B, have no driving errors. C, have trouble driving slow. And D, have trouble controlling their vehicles.
D.
It's C.
What is C?
C was, it should switch to the next one.
How is that even possible, Chris?
C was the driver, so that's one wrong. One wrong.
That's ridiculous.
It's one
Who
wrong.
the hell came up with that?
1 and 1. To prevent yourself from becoming an aggressive driver, you A, drive above the posted speed limit, relax and concentrate on driving, tailgate the driver. See, these are easy though, Joe. Tailgate the driver in front of you.
B.
That's correct. These are too easy though.
Now they're too easy, Joe, because I'm getting them right.
Wait. I'm going to go through. Hold on. Oh my God. No.
Did you even read these before we started?
No, of course not. Okay, wait. We're gonna that's no good. Let's move to the next one. Okay, this sign, we can't do that.
Joe was coming up with all trick ones. All trick ones.
Okay, when traveling behind a motorcycle, okay, allow at least 2 seconds of the following distance. Allow at least 4 seconds of the following distance, and allow a following distance of at least 4 motorcycle lengths. Or D, allow a following distance of at least 2 car lengths. What do you got?
D.
No. It is allow 4 seconds.
All right, whatever.
That's 2 wrong. It's 2 and 2. If
Fuck,
2
what
vehicles,
the hell does that have to do with anything? You don't. This is a foolish test. 2 out of.
Joe, he talked about driving
Wait,
behind
Joe, listen,
people,
Joe,
remember, and then
Joe,
moving and all this.
Joe, he hasn't asked one question based on what I complain about. Now, one question off that test.
These
yet
are
is he
real.
asked.
These are
But
real
Joe,
questions.
no, but listen. But now one question on there is talking about what I complained about. And Joe, he's skipping around to find trick questions because if you gave me every question, I'd pass the test.
They're not trick questions.
I passed the test, Joe.
By the way,
Joe, he's telling me he's skipping the easy ones.
What,
Joe.
you gotta get an 80% on this.
Yeah, I don't get 80%.
Counselors, that's sustained.
Yeah.
God.
Listen. You know, Joe, you're seeing this, right? I mean, do I need to? Okay, so he's 2 for.
What
these
does
2
that
out
have
of
to? What does that a test have to do with anything?
2 right. But this is the test the kids take to go driving.
And
what do you
that's
mean? What's it got to do
but
anything?
Listen, but you're not following.
These are the things you were bitching about
But listen,
on the
that's
road.
why I told you I want to make a video.
You
because
said
that test is not good.
Joe, he said people are driving up my ass. People are driving too close in front of me, right? Well, so now I ask him a question about
have to
driving
do
too
with anything?
close. Well, I mean, you claim to know all the rules, so I want to see if you know all the rules.
No, my point is, if those are the rules, nobody follows them.
Okay, right, but
Right,
you got to
isn't
know.
that the
I don't
point?
even know. Nobody knows those rules. Listen to those questions, though. They're
Oh,
the
Joe,
worst.
you know what? Now you're apologizing. Joe, he
I'm
he
not
said he knows.
apologizing. I'm saying this is why people are stupid on the roads. Like
I
nobody
never
knows
said I knew
rules.
the rules of the road. I said people don't know how to drive.
You know what?
There's a
Joe,
difference. Listen,
Joe,
attorney, listen,
Joe,
attorney. My
you're gonna-
words, you're putting words in my mouth, attorney.
Joe-
Don't lead the witness. You're
Joe,
trying to lead the witness. I never
two-
said that.
If two vehicles arrive at a four-way stop at the same time, A, the vehicle on the left must yield to the vehicle on the right. B, move quickly before the other driver makes their decision. C, they always had one that's obvious. C, make hand motions to communicate your intentions to the other driver. And D, the vehicle on the right must yield to the vehicle on the left.
That's a fucking trick question.
It's not a trick question. These are the real rules. And Mark claims he said, I know the rules. I know the rules. They don't know the rules. Well, these are the rules. Which one is it, Mark?
I
He's
didn't
looking
hear
it
the-
up.
I
He's
didn't
looking
hear-
it up
I'm not looking
online.
it up. I'm watching the Michigan-Ohio State game. You're worried about the rules of traffic, for Christ's sake.
Tell me. Come on, we don't have a lot more time. Give me the answer to that.
I didn't hear the question.
It's either A or C. If
I
two
didn't hear the
vehicles
question.
arrive,
I didn't
okay,
hear the question.
I'll take two of them out. If two vehicles arrive at a four-way stop at the same time, one, the vehicle on the left must yield to the vehicle on the right. Two, the vehicle on the right must yield to the vehicle on the left. The other two are junk. I won't even
The
bother
first
with those.
one.
That's correct, Mark.
Yeah, I knew that.
What's was it 3-2 now?
3-2.
How many more we got of these, huh?
All right, this is stupid. I don't want to ask that one. A steady green light. I don't know. No, that sucks too. Hold on. If your car becomes disabled on the highway, you should park with all four wheels of the traveled highway if possible. Stop in the right lane. Stop where you are. How long does it take you? These are timed.
I'm watching the Michigan game. I told you.
You know what? You're not.
Steve,
All right, you're wrong. That's it. So
I
he's
wasn't
got.
paying attention.
So out of 10 questions, we're done. He was only allowed to get 2 wrong. He's gotten 4 wrong, Joe. Okay.
Joe, he skipped
And
every
there-
easy. Joe, all the questions he said, this is too easy. That's simple. He skipped them all, Joe. He skipped them. So out of 20 questions, I would have passed the test with an 80.
Catone's comments was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, Mark. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. I know the rules of the road too, Mark.
Mhm.
Coming up.
No,
Our
you
past-
know the rules of the road when you want to manipulate them for your legal
Manipulate
purposes.
them to right or wrong answers, Mark.
Yeah, but that's not what I said.
Joe.
It's not what I said last week about the drivers. I said they don't know how to drive. I didn't
more-
refer to the rules, to the test that people take in the rules.
The more defensive you are, the less believable.
Okay.
Coming up, the
Score
Pats.
right there. The-
Pat's
the
preview.
2-2.
It's 4-2. I asked
Oh.
6 questions. So it's 4-2 wrong. Okay.
Yeah,
Coming
but,
up-
but Joe, I lost interest after
Mark,
the
Joe,
third
he's not- they're
question.
not
I
gonna let
started
me get
watching
to
the
it.
Michigan game.
Coming
which is
up.
more important.
Coming up, Pat's preview of the Titans game right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. And listen, we're here. We're time for that Pat's preview of the Titans game. Mark will be at that game tomorrow. in Foxborough, a 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We will be on, Joe and I will be on 30 minutes following that game, and hopefully Mark will present himself from the stadium after the game. So, Mark, let's get into it. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball this time. All right, for the Patriots to win on defense, to win this game defensively, what do they need to do? How are they stopping their run, their pass? What do you think? Who got the edge?
Well, defensively, Chris, I'm going to say the Patriots have the edge because there's no Henry. I think the receiver Brown is possibly out. I think I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball with the running backs that they have. Like I said, their receivers, even to try to set up play action to run the ball, they're short at the receiver group. And we neither one of us are fans of Tannehill trying to do that. I think when the Titans are running the football, Chris, I honestly think that we got the advantage. I think our defense has a chance to dominate Tennessee tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, without their ability to run the ball,
because Chris, if you remember correctly, historically, Henry's the guy who kills us.
He is. I mean, he was an MVP candidate before he went out.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at they're averaging about 3.5 yards per rush in his absence.
Yeah.
Okay, and they got Foreman running the ball. They had Adrian Peterson. Then they released him.
They just released him this week,
and they picked up Golden Tate, I believe. So
So but listen, Chris, if our defense continues to play the way they've been playing, I mean, I'll be shocked if we don't beat this team tomorrow. I'll be shocked if we don't shut their running game down anyway.
They should, because New England has they're 14th in the league, but if you go by the last 5 games, they got to be right up in there in the top 5 in stopping the run with Barmore, Guy, Gottschall. And Gottschall's playing better than Guy. But listen, when your quarterback is the leading rusher with second leading rusher with 172 yards and 5 touchdowns on 32 carries, that's a problem for your team. Right. So, no, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball either. And I give that edge to the Patriots. So passing the ball now, what are they going to do? Because they've ruled out A.J. Brown. He's out.
He's out, right? He's out. And isn't Julio Jones is out, right?
Yep. Julio Jones is out. So, I mean, who they throwing the ball to? Now, listen, they like to throw that short intermediate route. That's what they like to do. Right. So, And they have a tight end out, don't they, tomorrow, too?
They do. They got one of the tight ends out, too. Listen, so there's no reason, Chris, if we listen, and I hate, listen, we could always throw up a stinker on defense because we've been playing so well. But defensively, Chris, if Barmore and Gottschall and those interior defensive linemen continue to do what they've been doing against the run, I think Tennessee's going to have a long day trying to run the football. I mean, they may be able to do some other things. But then I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball.
No, I don't think they're going to run. But passing the ball, Mark, they're going
to throw the ball to.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if they can't run the ball, look, everything they do is predicated on them running the ball, right? Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
And by the way, the rule out for them is A.J. Brown's out, their guard is out, Davis. They have 2 linebackers out, McNichols is out, and a defensive line. So no, the tight end Swaim is got a concussion, but he's questionable. So, Mark, everything they do passing the ball is predicated on the play action, is it not? And so
it is. It absolutely is.
If you can't run the ball, you can't play action. And those guys, I will say this to you: the gap control that Barmore, Gottschall, and Guy have produced. Gap control means they're getting in between the gaps, either the B gap, the A gap, and they're taking on 2 offensive linemen. So they're holding them up so the linebackers can come and make plays. So I expect a big game from Judon. Now he's going to get doubled a lot. So the guy you really need to see play well tomorrow is Van Noy.
And obviously he played really well against Atlanta. We'll see if he can keep that momentum going, right? And the guy, Chris, I listen, if he's got anything left in the tank, I mean, maybe this is the type of a game maybe Hightower can get going. I mean, if he's got anything left in the tank, Chris, because I'm going to be honest with you, down the stretch, Chris, you're going to have to play, you're going to have to play Indy. You're going to play Buffalo twice. I think you're going to need Hightower, Chris, to give you something. He hasn't given you much all year, but that's okay. If he can come up big now down the stretch, the last 6 or 7 games, like a veteran, I think you're going to need him to start the. I don't think they need him to win tomorrow, but I think you need to see him to start to play better tomorrow, Chris, like his old self, because you're going to need him. I think against Buffalo, against Indy, that kid Taylor, he runs the ball like an animal.
Yeah, and so if
tomorrow's a game, I want to see Hightower try to get himself back in action a little bit.
If they're pressuring them, if they're putting pressure on them, then that frees up the secondary to make plays too. And J.C. Jackson, Mills, these guys are playing well, and I expect big games out of them. But to me, Mark, they're going to have to press up. If they're look, you asked who are the receivers for these guys? Westbrook, Klein, Chester Rogers, Marcus Johnson, Dan Fitzpatrick. The tight ends are Fursker, Pruitt. Have you heard of these guys?
I've never heard anybody.
Okay, so. But the short intermediate, they're not going to pump the ball down the field. Now's the time to get up, press them, even play zone, but get close.
No, Chris, if any team is going to play a short intermediate game, it's going to be tomorrow. I mean, Tennessee doesn't have a choice.
Because they can't go downfield, because they can't run the ball, set up that play action. They can't do it.
And they don't have I don't think they have the receivers to get the ball downfield.
So hopefully there'll be hopefully you're making a lot of noise with everybody, so it's disrupting Tannehill anyway, who has, by the way, 12 interceptions. Less than Mac Jones, mind you. So, Mark, on offense now, okay, what's got to be done? Can Jones have a day? Was he going to have a day like Atlanta, or is he going to have a day like Carolina? 3 touchdowns or 1 touchdown? You know what I mean? What do you think they set up to have here?
I think they're gonna play. They're gonna keep it with the same formula, Chris. I think you're gonna see a lot of Harris. You're gonna see a lot of Stevenson. I think you're gonna see them. You're gonna see Bolden on the field. I think they're gonna set that up, and I think you're gonna see Jones do the same thing he's been doing, Chris. I don't think they're gonna try to put him in a position where he's gonna have to win the game. They're gonna put him in a position where we'll get you a lead. We'll play defense. Just don't lose it. Don't do anything stupid. Don't throw 2-3 picks. I think Vrabel defensively, Chris, will come up with some schemes. I mean, I know you hate him, but he'll come up with something to try to confuse the kid, right?
He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He knows he's a rookie. So I don't think, Chris, they're going to put him in a position to fail. I think they're going to do exactly what they've been doing. At least against Tennessee, Chris, I think you can get away with that. You play Buffalo, that may be a different story. But this week, Chris, I think they can do that and win the game.
Yeah. And as far as the Vrabel factor, I mean, look, this is a different team. This is a different team than it was, right? I mean, last time they played, different quarterback, different personnel, different running backs. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't know what you're going to see. Now, the Patriots are going to want to run the ball, but they're stiff. They're tough against the run, allowing just 97 yards, 4.1 a carry. So they're fourth in the league on that. I would think Mac Jones, they're going to have to run the ball set up because they're a play action team, New England, unless they do something different.
They're going to have
to. But
the
Titans secondary, Mark, has struggled. They're 24th in the league. They're not good.
That's why, Chris, I think if they run the ball and stick with the formula, they can set up that passing game, type of a passing game. And I think that type of a passing game, Chris, I think you can make plays against this. Like you just said, their secondary is not up to par this year.
I like the short passing, by them. I'm good with that. Take it. The dink and dunks. That's okay. We can do that. Take what they give you. Let's not make any huge mistakes by Mac Jones or anybody else. And you know what? With the way that offensive line is playing right now, -1, I feel like they're going to be able to run the ball. I really do. If they
I do too,
right
Chris.
side.
I think they're going to run the ball. I mean, on the right side, yes.
Right.
Chris, listen. There really hasn't been a team recently who's been able to stop if they're healthy. If Harris and Stevenson are both healthy and on the field, Chris, not many. I don't know many teams that are going to be able to stop that.
No, it's the 1-2 punch, and they're always fresh. They're always in the game fresh. Now, again, I'm sure we're going to see J.J. Taylor on inactive tomorrow. That's usually the formula. Oh, I'd love to see him because special teams, I give it to the Patriots, but I love to see that kid returning kickoffs. We're good with Gunner returning the punts. He's close to a Pro Bowl again.
Chris, I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with Taylor. I get on offense, Chris, maybe he's a little undersized. Maybe he has trouble picking up the blitz, reading blitzes. I get all that. But Jesus Christ, I would activate the kid, Chris, just for special teams.
Yeah, and as of today, I mean, they got their 10 players on the questionable list. Barmore's on there. Trent Brown is on there. Trent Brown's on there. Well, he's on there every damn week. All these guys are on.
Brown's on there every week, Chris. So you can't. I don't know what he's on there every week. It's the calf again, right?
Yeah, it's the calf,
Yeah.
and I'm more
He's on
concerned
every
about
week.
Barmore. You got to have him.
Yeah,
He's
what is he
having a Pro
listed?
Bowl
What's he
season.
listed for, Chris?
His knee,
And that's
He's
a new
listed for a
one.
knee.
He hasn't shown up
right?
until
So,
recent.
and again, special teams, you give it to the Patriots.
I give it to the Patriots. Yeah.
So, Mark,
do.
this is, well, you know what? We can get to it in 2-minute warning,
So,
which
Chris,
I think.
Chris, but let me ask you this now. So looking into this game, if so, hypothetically, you win the game, you're sitting at 8-4. This is an important game, right? They can't take this team lightly. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's still Vrabel. You can't take them lightly.
No,
because this is a
absolutely not.
pivotal game, Chris. When you look down the stretch, you got to get yourself to 8-4 because you got 3 games against Indy, Buffalo, and Buffalo. You got 3 games down the stretch, Chris, that are going to be real tough games.
Well, we talked about that last week, where they're sitting and where they could be. Mark, do you realize? I don't know if everybody out there realizes, if they win this game tomorrow and Baltimore loses, they're in the number 1 spot in the conference.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I think it is the case. I do. I think it is the case.
Whew.
So tomorrow, Chris, is a game you cannot let up. You got to keep the foot on the metal. But you got to keep the foot on the pedal, and you got to keep rolling because you cannot screw around with this team. I know they're injured. It's one of those games, Chris. It's almost like a setup game. They're injured. They got no running backs. They got no receivers. That, and then Tannehill comes in and goes like 19 for 22.
You know what? I mean? I think he stinks. I
think he stinks
I
too,
don't think
Chris.
he's
But
that good.
No, I agree with you. But I'm just saying it's a game that makes me a little nervous because it's one of those games where we're a young team. We just we gotta make sure we take care of business. You get to 8-4, and then your last 5 games. You got a chance to do something here in this season if you can go into the last 5 at 8-4. You know, especially when like you're saying, Chris, when you look around the rest of the league and look at where everybody else is setting up, you know.
Well, you got to hope if they win tomorrow. You got to hope. I got to hope at least for a split against Buffalo, and then Indy, Jacksonville, and Miami again, the House of Horrors. So, yeah, Mark, they're in good shape, and I love the way they are right now. Like I said before, they're galvanized. They seem to like each other. They're getting along. There's no nonsense. There's no underlining issue.
Chris, what's your call out for the year for Buffalo, the corner?
White. Yeah, he got hurt in that. He got hurt in the Thanksgiving.
He's their best. He's their best corner.
Yeah, he's out for this. So the company, and we'll preview that next week because that's going to be coming up. So yeah, you people in that stadium better be loud tomorrow. Better be loud and give them a hand, right? And I can't wait, Mark. You're going to come on, right? Mark's going to be on the show right after the game or shortly after, from the stadium because we want to get your impressions as to everything that went on there. But yeah, listen. And by the way, you can't just keep your foot on the pedal, Mark. We just went over that in the driving test.
Joe, here we go. Joe, him and his foolish driving test, Joe.
At all times.
I thought COVID brain was going to continue on, but apparently it's going to be the DMV thing.
The DMV thing, Joe.
Patriots preview was presented by the Pats Nation, the real Patriots post-game show, 30 minutes following every Patriots game. Joe and I tomorrow will have all your post-game coverage. It's time now, Mark, again for our 2-minute warning. We ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, 2-minute warning, Joe.
Ready. There we go.
Chris, I said it already that the tomorrow was a key game. I mean, you can't screw around tomorrow. You got to take care of business. You got to play defense. You got to play offense. You got to do your thing. You cannot slip up against this team who, let's face it, this is a game, Chris, that you should win based on everything that's, Tennessee with all of their injuries on, the offensive side of the ball and the fact that their secondary is struggling. This is a game that you should be able to handle quite easily. But you know how what happens in those types of situations, right? So I'm going to predict a Patriot victory. Of course, I'm going to be there, so I have to predict the Patriot victory, right? I'm going to predict.
Well, then you're going to have to answer to everybody else sitting around you.
I'm going to predict the Patriot victory. I'm going to go, Chris. I'm going to go 33-24. 17.
And that's based because of what? Why?
Because I think because of the injuries on offense for Tennessee, I think they'll struggle. I think the Patriots defense will set us up in a couple of short fields. I think you might get a turnover. Tannehill's always good for a pick. I think you'll get some short fields, and I think that the Patriots will end up scoring a little more than they typically score. Right? Typically they're in the in the 20s. I think they'll go over 30 tomorrow, just because I think they'll get set up in some short fields for Jones and for the running game to do some things. So I think they'll go over 30 tomorrow, and I'm saying 17 by Tennessee, but it wouldn't surprise me, Chris, if they don't even get that many points.
Well, and I'm looking for what the spread is on this game, because
I think we're like 6-7 point favorites, right?
Yeah, it's a no, it's 3.5.
Oh, it's 3.5. I thought it was more than that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No. I'm wrong. It's 7. You're right. It is 7. Patriots giving up 7. That's got to be because of injuries. Mark, I agree with you.
It is.
My prediction is going to be 27-20. No, 27-17. That's going to be mine. I think that they'll get a garbage score late in the game.
Tennessee, you mean?
Yeah, Tennessee. I think they'll get that late in the game. But I think it's got to start with the defense. That's it. Has to start with the defense. That's the way they've been. That's been their identity all season long. Tough defense, a la 0-3. And when I watched that man in the arena, Mark, the one thing I took away from that, dude, is they were nasty. That defense, they were nasty. They didn't care. They didn't shit what anybody thought. They went out there and they just did it. They just slapped teams around. They took Rodney Harrison's identity. And I'm starting to see some of that on this team. So 27-17. And again, 2-minute warning was presented by the Pats Nation. So some people to thank, Mark, today. We're at that point again, right?
Yeah.
Some people to want to thank the people over at Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success, specialsaucepodcast.com. The good people over at Jag Media Productions, Studio 42 Designs for all your graphic design needs, studio42designs.com, and Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, corsolawgroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Join us again tomorrow for the Pats Nation. It's going to be presented by this show, Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. 30 minutes following that Titans game where Mark will be, Joe and I will join you. We'll have Mac Mania, Coach's Corner, and, of course, our Sunday Stiff. Mark, you to make sure you at least call in for the Sunday
Chris,
Stiff.
I hope your friend can stay out of the Sunday Stiff seat next week on the left side of that offensive line.
Yeah, the only way he's going to stay out of it is if he's if a winner is playing ahead of him. That's the only way Win is going to stay away.
That's not happening, Chris.
It is not. They're not going to disrupt the chemistry that's happening right now. So
no.
And listen, make sure you tune in next Saturday to our show, Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. We're going to be previewing the Patriots-Bills matchup, and that's a Monday night matchup.
They flexed it, right?
Well,
that was supposed to be. No, they flexed the Indy game, right?
The Indianapolis game is going to be Saturday, and it's an 8:20 start. It's going to be the Saturday whatever that week is, and we'll talk about that. But the Bills is going to be a Monday Night Football game. What is that? An 8:15 kickoff?
Something like that. Yeah.
We will preview that on Corso and Catone next week. So for Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. Mark, enjoy the game tomorrow, as well as all of you out there. So long.